Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my review of the Nike Motiva. So they're literally calling this a walking shoe, which is interesting. I've never really heard that category before. It's usually just casual shoe or running shoe, but never really like a walking shoe, right? So this shoe retails for 110 bucks, which is actually pretty damn cheap, and this is for walking. So if you're doing a lot of walking, right, or maybe you're working and walking around a lot, maybe you're a server or you walk around the office a lot, then these are a great option. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. This shoe just came out of nowhere, right? But I was pretty curious. I saw it on the Nike app and I was like, ooh, I wonder if it's comfortable, and it is pretty damn comfortable, right? So let's get it started right off with the tracciones. In this colorway, we have a solid black rubber outsole, and then here in the forefoot, we got some squares. Right, it's a pretty interesting pattern. Also, we have some holes in the outsole, probably to reduce weight. And also, we have a few flex grooves, right? So one flex groove here in the forefoot, and also a flex groove in the heel, which is kind of interesting. And then we have a very wavy traction pattern, right? And then we have some more squares here in the heel. So this is pretty interesting, right? So as you guys can see, it is kind of like protruding out a little bit, right? We can see some like balls, right? So they're saying it's protruded out so that it has a little bit more of like a piston effect, which allows the cushion to compress a little bit more, which I guess it does make sense, especially if you look at the outsole like right here. So I guess it does compress a little bit more. So I guess that is a pretty good design. I'm not sure at how effective it is, but the traction, I mean, the rubber is pretty damn thick. Look at that. It's a pretty thick rubber, so it'll probably last a good amount of time, which of course is a good thing. Nike usually, especially in their running shoes, they make the rubber like either non-existent or very thin or targeted, right? They usually put it just in the forefoot or maybe just in the heel. But we have pretty much a full like one-piece outsole, so that'll be good for durability. I didn't really have any issues with sliding out or anything. Like, usually, obviously traction isn't important, right? If you're just casually walking around, but honestly though, like I don't really want to, slide around when I'm walking around. So when I was walking around on like wood floors or like tiled floors, like in the mall and stuff, I didn't really have any issues with sliding around. So of course that'll be a good thing as well. So there is the outsole there. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, right? So of course heel to toe transition is not important per se in like casual shoes, you know what I mean? Not as important. I mean, obviously people wear boots and stuff like that, right? But this is a walking shoe, right? So in a walking shoe, I love what they did. Just look at this, right? Look at this. Look at how freaking crazy that rocking is. That's insane, right? So we have a crazy, like pretty much a U shape, right? But it basically helps this shoe like rock, right? So when you're doing heel dominant strides, right? When you're walking, usually people do heel dominant strides, right? From heel to toe. So heel to toe transition in this shoe is amazing. It's one of the smoothest heel to toe transitions that I've ever felt in any shoe, honestly, right? And just, it's crazy. Like I have the Ultra Boost right over here. The Ultra Boost is a very comfortable shoe, right? Not as much. You still have a crazy curve shape and it still does have a very nice rocking motion, but not as much, right? The Motiva, look, it just wants to keep rocking, right? So when you're doing heel dominant strides, just walking around and stuff like that, super duper smooth, very comfortable, and coupling that with the cushion is really nice, right? So overall heel to toe transition, very smooth, and also of course we have a lot of forefoot flex, right? So, and now moving on to the cushioning setup. So I'm not 100% sure what the foam is. They literally don't mention it in their tech specs. They just say pretty much soft foam, right? So I'm guessing maybe it's probably some type of Cushlon, right? It definitely does have a lot of crease marks, right? There's a lot of crush marks here in the foam. And obviously that's from the foam kind of like compressing a good amount, and I don't really feel like it's as soft as when I first got it, right? So it does bottom out pretty quickly, but it's still really soft and still very comfortable. So coupling the really soft cushion, right? And it's pretty much fully exposed. And here in the back, I thought this was like rubber, right? But it's actually not. It's the foam, right? The foam is super soft here in the back of the heel as well. So there's a lot of compression here in the heel. And coupling that with this crazy shape and this rocking motion, it just feels super duper soft, very smooth. And also, as far as the step and comfort goes, the step and comfort isn't the best, right? So the insole, first of all, is just a regular like foam insole. It's not super soft or anything like that. I mean, when you get it, it's pretty soft, but once you keep walking around in it and kind of like bottom it out, it's not as nice. It's just like any other regular insole, right? And then underneath that, it's a pretty stiff strobo board, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, for me personally, I do really like step and comfort, right? I like to feel the foam right underneath my foot, especially in like a casual shoe. It feels super duper soft, right? Especially here in the Ultra Boost. The strobo board is really soft and you can feel the boost right underneath the foot, right? So the step and comfort here in the Motiva isn't the best, but if you're looking for something really soft and also is pretty high up off the ground and there is a pretty high offset, then this is a really comfortable cushioning setup. Just for step and comfort, not the greatest, right? So there is the cushion there. Moving on to the material. So we basically have like, it kind of reminds me of like a Flyknit almost, right? It's pretty damn stretchy, right? It has a nice little stretch to it, and once you put it on, it kind of stretches over your foot, which does feel nice. It's definitely not as stretchy as like Flyknit from the Epic Reacts or the Ultra Boost right here, like the Primates, but it still has a nice little bit of stretch to it. It also definitely doesn't feel as premium as like the Primeknit here in the Ultra Boost, but it's way cheaper, right? The Ultra Boost is like a $200 shoe or 180 bucks. The Motiva is only 110 bucks, right? So quality wise, I definitely feel like it's still really good for 110 bucks. And it feels really comfortable, right? It's super duper thin. It's not really glued down at all. I mean, obviously for support, it's not the best, right? If you, if you put your toes up, your toes are gonna kind of like poke out, you know what I mean? But overall, I mean, it's just a walking shoe, right? And you can definitely jog in it and run in it as well if you want. And this material is really minimal and very comfortable, right? Stays extremely thin here in the midfoot, and it's a very low-key swoosh, right? I didn't even notice this swoosh when I first got it, right? We have a swoosh here, but it's the same color as the material. And we also have a little swoosh right here. For the tongue, we have like a pretty minimal padding, but it still has a little bit of padding, so it's kind of comfortable. It's pretty plush. And it's also a half booty construction tongue, giving you a better overall one-to-one fit. And then as far as the padding goes here in the ankle area, not a whole lot going on, right? Definitely on the sides, there's none. In the back of the heel, right, where your Achilles is, it does have a little bit of padding, which is kind of cozy, kind of comfortable. But for the most part, it's a very minimal feeling upper, which does feel nice. So if you're looking for a very minimal material that also kind of gives you that sock-like fit because it does have a little bit of stretch, then this is honestly a great material, especially for the price. Right? I mean, the fused material over the eyelets and also here on the tongue, and then also like in the back of the shoe right here, it definitely does, like you can tell it's a cheaper shoe, but overall, it, like on foot, it feels great for the price, right? Now moving on to the fit, I went up half a size and it fits me very well, right? So I feel like if you go true to size, or if I went true to size, it would have been a little too tight, right? My toes go pretty damn close to the edge, and also they said they widened the toe box, which it doesn't really feel that wide. Actually, my pinky toe is pretty much right here, and it's not super uncomfortable or anything. It's not squeezing the side of my foot like crazy, but it definitely doesn't feel wide, you know what I mean? So if you have a wide foot, probably go up a full size. If you have a normal foot and you kind of want like a kind of snug fit, then go up half a size. And if you have a skinny foot and you want a really snug fit, I guess, then go true to size. But for me, I went up half a size and it's pretty damn comfortable. And for me personally, also, like for casual shoes, I like to have it a little bit looser as far as the fit goes. So that's why I do like the fit going up half a size for me personally. All right, touching on support, obviously this is just a walking shoe and you can jog in it and run in it if you would like. And it is pretty comfortable running around or just jogging around casually. I'm not a serious runner, but for me, it did feel very comfortable, especially with this rocking shape and this rocking motion, right? And also the very soft cushion. However, if you're gonna be doing some type of training, I don't know why you would get this shoe, but maybe you were just wearing this shoe and you're doing some training or something like that, and you're doing crazy lateral movements, obviously this is gonna be a terrible option because there's no lateral counters pretty much, right? I guess besides this here in the midfoot a little bit, you know, the foam's coming up, but other than that, it's a very soft and stretchy material, so I don't expect any type of lateral support, right? Obviously, it's just a walking shoe, right? And now moving on to the weight of the shoe, I feel like it'll be kind of average for like a running shoe. You know, running shoes are super duper light, especially for Nike. They usually average around like 9 ounces, I think, but I think this is probably around like 10-11 ounces. Ooh, 9.9 ounces, right? Let's check the other shoe. 9.8 ounces. That's actually a little bit lighter than I thought. So yeah, that's pretty damn light. And like I said, it's a very minimal upper. It's a super lightweight feeling shoe. Let's actually check the Ultra Boost. 9.75 ounces. So there's that. And as far as the ventilation goes, ventilation is super good. So we have a good amount of airflow through this kind of like textile or knit upper, and it doesn't feel glued down or anything like that. So you do have good airflow, and it doesn't keep in heat that much. So it's actually a pretty good summer shoe, right? It's getting hot. That's why I'm in a tank top. Super hot in this room right now. So this is a very good summer shoe option. And aesthetically, not a huge fan. It looks kind of weird, especially like with the swoosh right here and hiding this swoosh as well. So yeah, in my personal opinion, not the best looking shoe, but wrapping things up, this shoe is freaking comfortable, guys. Really comfortable. If you don't really care about looks and you're looking for like a really comfortable shoe, maybe you're walking around a lot when you work or something like that, or you're hiking, or maybe even jogging kind of casually, this is a really good option, right? Or maybe you're going out and you want something really comfortable or something like that. This is a great option. 110 bucks, still pretty damn cheap, super comfortable cushion. Material feels pretty damn nice for quality, especially for the price. It's a lightweight shoe. Ventilation is good as well. It's a great summer shoe, and it's summer right now, right? So I highly recommend this shoe to you guys. I really enjoyed like wearing it out, and it was super duper comfortable, right? So anyways, that about concludes my review of the Nike Motiva. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.